Hey guys, Steady Spazoid here. Right now I'm gonna do something different. We're gonna look at we're gonna do reaction videos basically right now. Right now we're gonna look at this video, 100-year-old life hacks you didn't know existed. So now you're probably asking, why am I watching this? It's only because it's the number 5 on trending right now. And yeah, I just wanted to see what all the hubbub was, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to see what was going on. So let's get right to it. I have no idea what I'm getting into, besides that we got some century-old life hacks. You know what? I know what life hacks are, you know, like, basically, like, neat little tricks or shindigs you can do, like, to make life easier, but let's see this. Let's get to the video. We got household hacker.
Sometimes it's fun to dig around as you never know what you might find. Like these life hack inserts that were printed over 100 years ago in 1916. Now we've got about 100 of these, but wanted to test out some of our favorites and see if they're still useful today. So as they said back in 1916, quit your crabbing and let's get to scabbing. First off is a tip about removing long, troublesome nails. It says, it's often difficult to pull out a long nail from wood into which it's been driven. If, however, a small block of wood be placed under the pincers, the nail can be pulled out without difficulty. We took some scrap wood and pounded in a nail, making sure that it was in there really good. Attempting to remove it using just the hammer as its own point of leverage wasn't very effective. Even trying with a small wooden plank didn't produce much help.
Really?
This one was going to need something serious to serve as a base, as it literally wouldn't budge. Using the basic premise of the card ended up working in the end, but a brick was required. It provided enough height and sturdiness to leverage the nail out of the block with some serious force. So if you're in a situation with a stuck-in nail, grab yourself a sturdy panel and use it to get more prying force. Works like a charm once you figure out the right
I mean, that
height.
makes sense, but I also, honestly, like, low-key, I feel like some big bodybuilder dude would just, you know, pull it out. Like, you know, why you need a...
How to take ink stains out of a handkerchief.
But whatever,
Reads,
I mean,
a fine linen handkerchief which has had the misfortune to become stained with ink can be restored to its original spotlessness. When the accident occurs, the handkerchief should at once be plunged into milk. Now, while handkerchiefs aren't necessarily a common accessory nowadays, the premise should still apply to other fabrics, such as a white t-shirt. I drew all over a small area with a pen to make sure the
milk like a washing machine?
Simple lines were all that were needed.
What kind of milk?
This one out.
Like
next up was to take a small bowl and add some milk to it to see if it can remove the stain.
Milk?
So after pouring that in, you have to get the fabric.
I mean, how bad
the
stain is? Like, you know, I heard seltzer.
Set this one aside and give it some time to chill in the milk while it works its mysterious powers of stain removal.
Still,
in the
you gotta get some time.
Let's check out this bread slicing tip. As this card reads,
alright, some
the
bread
difficulty
slicing.
of cutting.
You know, some of these things, I believe that these work, but I think they kind of miss the point. Like, why would you ever need to do this? Like, I mean, this is from like 100 years ago. Maybe they didn't have like some tide or whatever. Yeah, I think that's the point, isn't this? This is like so this is basically like a... Well, sorry guys, I'm just a little uncomfortable here. Get comfortable. So this is like a history video, basically.
Bread into
like...
thin slices can be readily overcome by the following expedient. Plunge the bread knife into hot water. The heated knife will cut
well, obviously
new
that would
bread
work.
into the thinnest slices.
But that's like, you could light the knife on fire too, it would work.
Which led us to wondering if they were using a serrated blade. The answer is most likely not, as the common serrated bread cutter we know today wasn't developed until 1919 by a man named Joseph Burns. It's still worth trying out though to see if it makes things even
so you would have to
for
make
a glorious modern bread slicer. We got the water up to about 124 degrees Fahrenheit, or 51 degrees Celsius, and let the blade have a nice warm and relaxing soak. I hit all sides to make sure it heated over well and carefully wiped away the water with the blade pointing down before plunging it into the helpless loaf of bread. This actually made slicing much quicker, and the serrated edge was hardly needed to make
But why would you need to slice bread that quickly? Like, you know, like, even the other two I understand.
Just heat up a regular one under the faucet.
But like,
go to
do
town.
people
keeping the
back
bread
then,
cleanly
could they
cut and
just
thinly
waste the milk
sliced.
like that?
Alright, back to the t-shirt that's soaking in the bowl of milk.
Okay.
After about 20 minutes or so, the shirt was removed and it was clear that the ink was still fairly ingrained into the fabric. But
Oh,
you
wow.
can never really get rid of a stain without a little scrubbing, so this shouldn't be any different. With a coarse sponge, I rubbed the ink stains fairly hard until the ink seemingly bulked up with the fat in the milk and started to release from the t-shirt. If you look closely,
Oh,
you can
from
see
the
little
fat?
particles rubbing.
But didn't
While
it
this
look
didn't fully
like back here? It still kind of
milk and
looked like,
started to
yeah, that
release from
still
the
looks
t-shirt.
like
If
there's
you
a
look
stain.
closely, you can see little particles rubbing out. While this didn't fully remove the ink stain, it did do a good job of getting it to a much more reasonable level than before.
Yeah,
So that being
that's
said,
not
if
gonna
you're really in a
remove it.
pinch or
You
just
can't
want to
remove it
avoid
with
harsh
milk.
chemicals, try
Just
a little
some
milk
fat from
mixed
milk.
with some elbow grease and water. Now
I mean,
this
that is
one of
actually
my
pretty
favorites.
cool that
Cleaning
they
your
could do that,
boots with a
but-
lemon. The card says, new boots are sometimes very difficult to polish. A successful method is to rub the boots all over with a half lemon, after which they will easily polish. Seems simple enough to try, so I sliced up a lemon and got my grungy
lemon
boots
is
that were
crazy.
last worn in the
They did
Nevada
that.
desert a couple years
I had
ago.
because we had some apples that we cut, and the apples were like exposed to air and they look a little like dirty. Like, you know how apples get like a little brown, and you just put the lemon on it. It cleared up like right away. It was crazy.
If the lemon could cut through this, then it's surely a great alternative method to cleaning up your old
Yeah,
leather
lemon.
boots. By
It's
working the
got
lemon
it's
slice
so
all over
much
the boot, making
citrus.
sure it
It's
hit all
like
the nooks and
I
crannies,
actually
it became
yeah.
pretty clear that it was doing a good job and really working out that caked-on mud and dirt.
Yeah,
I hit
yeah.
both sides pretty hard,
Yeah, I
trying
believe
not to
this.
leave too many pieces of lemon on the shoe. When you're done, you just wet a cloth with water and rub away all the little seeds or strings that lemon left behind, giving you a fantastic
The struggle for comfort, guys. Alright, I'm gonna stay like this for the rest of the video.
You could also add polish at this point to rejuvenate even the worst old boots. Moving on, and here comes a tip about
Wow,
keeping
how
your
many of
flowers
these
fresh
are there?
longer. When sending choice flowers, a long journey by post
Potato
or otherwise,
flower?
an excellent
Like not
way
a
to keep
potato
them from
light bulb, a
fading
potato
is to
flower?
insert ends
What?
of stalks into small holes or slits cut into a raw potato.
Look
This
at
will
this.
keep the
Alright.
flowers fresh for a week or more. This is pretty interesting and makes sense. The potato will essentially serve as a protective barrier for the flowers while also providing water and nourishment. While I don't recommend going out and spending a lot of money on potatoes just for this, it's great if you have some that have been laying around a while and might be past their prime. I happen to have a sack of forgotten potatoes that gave the perfect opportunity to preserve some
Happen to
fresh
have, that
flowers
doesn't
for
sound
Mother's
right.
Day.
A
All you
sack
need to
of
do is put a
forgotten
hole into the top of the
potatoes.
potato and perhaps slice a bit off the bottom
I
so they
happen
won't
to
wobble
have a
around.
sack of
Then just
forgotten
insert the stem
potatoes.
directly into the spud. This will also
I
serve
just
as a
so
makeshift
happen
flower stand of sorts. So if you
to
had a
have
way
a
to
sack
cover them, it opens up many possibilities to
forgotten
keeping your
potatoes.
flowers
What's going on
freshly on
here?
display
Alright,
for a
he's
much
actually
longer
doing
period of
something
time. If you want
clever.
to save space as well as taters, precious, just
Oh,
get a big one
okay.
and punch as many holes in it
But,
as
like,
you need.
wouldn't
This is
people
going to serve
see
as
the
a home
potatoes?
base for your
Like, that just-
potato-powered flower preserver. How lovely. Now you may find this one helpful if you
Okay,
ever need to weigh or
that's not
measure an
that bad.
item and find yourself without a ruler or a scale. It says it's sometimes
You have to
useful to
explain.
know
It
that
just
half
looks
a
so
crown
unusual.
equals half
you
an
know?
ounce in weight,
That's the only
and
thing.
3 pennies, 1 ounce. A half penny measures 1 inch in diameter, half crown an inch and a quarter, and a sixpence 3/4 of an inch in diameter.
Oh, okay,
Given
we
that the
got
material
some
used in
coin
coins
hacks?
has changed since 1916, we had to find another way to figure out the weight of various items. The most all-around
Oh,
efficient
okay,
way
like
was
the
to use
weight of the
quarters. As you
coins.
can see, a single modern quarter weighs 2/10 of an ounce. So if you stack 5 of them together, then you have yourself almost a perfect ounce. So that means that 80 quarters equals a pound, and more importantly, that 1,680 quarters perfectly equals a lovely Watson slightly before dinner. How many quarters do you weigh? As the card also states, you can use these to measure distances. The best way to get a ballpark idea of something's length is to use pennies,
Oh,
since you
of
probably have a lot
course.
of them laying around already. Each
That's
penny
true,
measures
but
approximately
again, like, did
3/4 of
people
an inch,
from
as you can see here. That means if we
1960
take
not
4
have a
pennies and
ruler?
line them all up together,
Like,
then
why
we have a
would they-
solid 3 inches. If you're
Alright,
looking to measure out a foot or 12 inches, then simply line
It's a
16
lot of, like, you know,
pennies up
information
in a
that
row,
maybe
and you'll have
isn't that
yourself a
useful.
temporary ruler. If you often find yourself having trouble getting pictures or other items
It's
level,
cool,
this
but
card might
it's
help
not
you. It says this
useful
useful instrument can be
necessarily.
made by the exercise of a little care and accuracy in construction of a box and top of the level shown in the picture. Now, this seemed a bit overkill, so here's a similar method without all the assembly required. All you need is
Okay.
a mostly empty bottle that has a straight line somewhere on it. we're going to use the label itself as the straight line. Just get the liquid down to a point where it sits below the edge and put it on a flat surface such as the top of a picture frame or whatever you need to level. Once you have the liquid sitting flush along the edge, you are now at a perfectly level position and can rest assured knowing that your wall art is no longer crooked. Finally, how about cooling down a
Oh,
drink
you know, I
quickly
might
without
actually
using
do that.
ice?
That's what
If
I'm
no
gonna do
ice is
if I get a
available for
picture.
cooling wine, a good method is to wrap the bottle in flannel and place it in a crock beneath the cold water
Wow,
tank.
really?
While there
That
wasn't
works?
any wine available, or flannel for that matter, we decided to go with a bottle of soda to cool down. To get an
Okay.
accurate result, some temperature readings were taken. This soda was sitting around 73 degrees. Next, just grab a kitchen towel and wrap it around the bottle as many times as possible until it's sitting snugly. This will serve as an insulator to keep the cold in. Just place the wrapped bottle into a bowl and turn on the cold water tap. Let the faucet run on low for at least a few minutes, or go with the suggested 10 as the card stated. This works surprisingly well, dropping the temperature more than 10 degrees in a relatively short period of time. Obviously,
that's
the
just
colder your
like
tap
a
water
waste
is, the
of
better.
water.
But if you're really craving a cold beverage on the quickness, then bottoms up and enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. You won't want to
Why do you
miss what
do
we
that?
have.
Wait, why do you like throw up?
Soda to
Let's
cool down.
rewatch
To
it.
get an accurate result, some temperature readings were taken. This soda was sitting around 73 degrees. Next, just grab a kitchen towel and wrap it around the bottle as many times as possible until it's sitting snugly. This will serve as an insulator to keep the cold in. Just place the wrapped bottle into a bowl and turn on the cold water tap. Let the faucet run on low for at least a few minutes, or go with the suggested 10 as the card stated. This works surprisingly well, dropping the temperature more than 10 degrees in a relatively short period of time. Obviously, the colder your tap water is, the better. But if you're really craving a cold beverage on the quickness, then bottoms up and enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. You won't
So he just threw
want
up
to miss what we
just for
have coming
comedy?
next, so be sure to hit that subscribe
What?
button,
Come on.
turn on those
Alright.
notifications to join our notification
You get
squad.
me, you know,
We'll see
I'm
you
not
soon
gonna
with
look
more
at some
interesting tips,
notifications,
tricks,
because
and
but
various
some of
other
them were
entertaining
cool.
tidbits to keep
Like
your
I
brain
respect
sharp.
this video. I respect what they did here. Some of it was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, alright, that's gonna be it for this. My name is Skinny Spazoid. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you like. And I'll see you guys later. Alright, take care.